These are far we've gone. This is far we've gone so far. Then, okay. So the assignment was given. I want you to know that we are going to present, each girl going to present this project after Sunday, because hopefully we are concluding this project on Sunday so that we can move on to other projects. This is the first project we are building. Move on to more advanced projects. This is just the basic. This is just the basic. Um, get the basic aspect of this project. And I always say that when you are coding or when you are writing your code, if there's any syntax you don't understand, make sure that you stop coding. Go and do research about that syntax. What is used for? Why is that element or that value or properties there? You should be able to know that. Don't just copy and paste. Because Skyline is doing it, I really need to do it. Let me just follow Skyline way. That means you're not an engineer, you copy and paste. But as we move more on the advanced stage of this program, we are going to be diving into most complex projects, and a project that you don't necessarily need to need video, that will not be video for you to do that project, right? So it's everything you've been able to learn, then you put those techniques together and see how you can come up with a project. So I've emphasized this always. Ensure that you understand, you have idea about whatever you are using, whatever you are coding. This will also give you a leverage. So excuse me. See, my 5G just disconnected. I need to connect it back. I don't know why it's not connecting. Just be building, and we are so concerned about the desktop design. There are two design when you are building a project. There are things you need to put in cognizant. And one of the things is that as a software developer, as an engineer, when you are programming, when you are writing your code, you should understand that you have two kind of people using your application. One are the people using the mobile phone, and secondly the people using the what, the a bigger device, right? You have the tablet, right? You have people using tablet, not even two type. We have people using laptop, which is the one we are using to build our application. Then you have people using tablets. They have the people using the normal mobile phone. So every of these device have their various screen size, right? Then how do you build their software to be compatible with all those devices I just mentioned now? So what we are going to be learning tonight is on how we can build and develop different kind of screen design of our project. We now call it what we call the mobile responsiveness. So the ability for your software or application to be compatible with other device or other screen device, it's what we call responsiveness, right? So when I talk about responsiveness, I'm talking about the compatibility of your software to align or to fit to any kind of screen. So now the question here is, how do we measure those screen size, right? We are not going to install any modules or any plugins, right? So we are going to be doing this on the browser to see how our site will be displayed when you are using a mobile phone. Now let just do this before we move ahead. Then I put this in a mobile, in actually this is just a mobile design. Now, in this mobile design, we notice that everything we've done so far is something else, right? So, of course, nobody would like to use application that is not mobile responsive. So, almost all the things we've done is not responsive when you use a different device, right? So you notice it there. When you use a different device, it's not responsive. So how do we build this responsiveness? How do we go about this responsiveness? And also outside this, right? When you move this to this particular size, and we still have a different um, uh, display, right? So when you also move this to this side, we still notice a different display, right? This is a bit fair, right? This is a bit fair. So when I try to move this to the left, you notice that we still have this um everything we've done, just still need to work on them. So scroll down a little bit, and we scroll down. This is messed up, right? Our header is messed up. And then how do we fix this issue? How do we fix this issue? This is very essential. So that's why we are here to talk about mobile responsiveness. Like I said, every device have what have their um let me go to Dropbox, which is one of the trying to okay. So let me quickly go to Dropbox, and I want to compare the Dropbox responsiveness to the one we've been able to do. Okay, this is what we are required to do. Um, this, this, and the call to action. The call to action. So it's compulsory that everybody will do this and submit. I will review this personally to make sure that compliance. Now, when you come to this, you get to this scheme site, you notice that everything is what well fitted, right? Everything is fine, everything is good. Then when you move on to this way, to this side, you notice that everything is still what? Everything is still perfect, right? Everything is well fitted, everything is fine. So you notice that everything is fine, right? Then when you move on to this, let's call this can be a tablet screen size. So we move on to the mobile responsiveness. Then you notice that when we get to a point, right? When you get to a point, uh, we have this button here. This is what we call uh, in front icon. So this is a front icon. So when you scroll down a little bit, so we get to a particular page where you have this, all the page will display. When you go to this a particular size screen size, you notice that I have this icon here. So when you click on this icon, you will notice a drop down of the menu, right? So we are going to be building um this is what we are going to be building the drop down menu and making sure the site, our project is responsive, fit to other different device. So moving ahead, let's let's do some mobile responsiveness and the structure here. So what I need to do is to right click, come to inspect. I believe most of you are familiar with the inspection. We've been using this often. Even when we started from the basic, we've been using inspection to build our project. So when they come to this place, right? So this is what we have toggle device, right? So When you click on here, this will automatically change this man to mobile design. Now, when you move down to this place, look up here, you look at the dimension responsive, right? Then this is the screen size, right? So if you extend this a little bit, let me try move on. Let's try to move on so they can see the header. So we extend this a little bit. We notice that we have this place for 1176 by 400, right? So 1176 by 400. When you move that a little bit down, you scroll down a little bit, okay, you notice that okay, everything is fine when it gets to 1000, right? So when you drag this man a little bit, moving, everything is fine. Now when it gets to, okay, let's say when it gets to 1229, 1029, right? When you go to 1029 or 1028, okay, let me try 28. Okay, 29. Okay, when we get to 1028, right? We notice that we started having issue with what? With our header, right? You notice that we started having issue what? With our header. This is the problem we started having issue with, right? So how are we going to fix this, right? So when you get to this particular page, everything will be fine, right? When you get to this particular page, everything what will be fine. Now we move on again from that 1029. When we move on, you notice that we still have the same problem. So the same problem started from 1029 by 408. This is where we started having issues, responsiveness issues, right? And our header becomes messed up. So how are we going to fix this issue? Now I want you to take it to cognizant. Look at the screen sizes, right? All the screen sizes are not the same. So we move this to a certain level. We have 637 by 408. Now we move this a little bit again. We have 511 by 408. So these are different kind of screen what design or screen devices. So we don't decide the kind of device that people or our end user going to be using to view or to view our application. So that's why we need to create all different mobile responsiveness, right? Multiple mobile responsiveness, so that we can be able to fix that issue. So this is it. Move down a little bit, you will notice that our header is messed up, right? And we want a situation in order to resolve this issue, right? This messing up issue. We want a situation when e get to a certain size, a certain dimension of our software or application, it automatically let's say give us a unique design. What I mean by unique design is that we notice what we had in Dropbox. When we get to a certain dimension, the header will hide, right? So we now have this icon. We can click on it, then every header will display for us to use. So we are going to be building that, right? We're going to be building that. So in order to fix this issue, we need to write a code that can identify the size of our browser, that will record the size of the device our end user is using, right? So and how can we do this? We do this by using a program called Media Query. So Media Query was introduced, that was in CSS2, or CSS2 also, and HTML. So it was introduced to use to resolve this issue of when you visit a website on mobile, it started lagging. If you notice few years ago, when you visit a website with mobile, you have to scroll to an extreme for you to see all the content of that particular website, right? Most of you may have noticed that. So when you visit some site, those sites are not responsive. For you to see all the content of that application, you need to scroll to an extreme. You need to screw it to a particular size for you to be able to read the whole article. This because of this issue, they will now introduce what we call media query that can be able to resolve this issue, that can be able to write a program that can identify the sizes, the screen size of your application. If I'm using this device with, let's say, with 500 by 408, then the system will now give me a kind of design we are having. I hope you are communicating. Before we start writing that code, any question, if you have any question, ask me so that I will just use 5 minutes to answer that. We're just going to spend 1 hour in building this. The next 1 hour we are leaving here. Hopefully we'll finish the mobile response tonight, and then the next 1 hour we are leaving here. Any question? um if you have a question, indicate so that the president will call you up. If you don't have a question, we'll move on. Thank you. When it comes to this place, you notice that we have different kind of screen size. We have people using uh, let's call it people using iPad. Was it iPad? I think people using iPad, people using a pad, uh, um, um, different kind of mini laptop screen, right? They are all categorized as iPad, right? You will see they are different screen here. Now, in order to not to write too much code, maybe specifically giving each of the mobile sizes, we have what we call minimum and maximum, right? So when you're writing, we have minimum and maximum. Now, minimum means that uh, it will, when it gets to, let's say, when it gets to 0 to 913, it stop there, right? When you get to the smallest device, from 0 to 553, that is minimum, right? The minimum it can go is 553. Then we have maximum. Maximum means it start from 553, right? Below. It start from 553 below. So the maximum it can go is 555. That means 555 is the maximum device, screen device, that can use, or that can have the design we are creating for that specific design. So I'm going to be showing you how to use different screen design, right? I'm going to show you how to use different screen design, and then when we have done that, then before we start building our application. So we are going to be using what we call a media query, right? Now a media query is also a CSS properties that we can use to identify different kind of screen design. Now let me talk about breaking point. Let's talk about a breakpoint. So every device have a breakpoint. If you notice that when we get to this place, we get to this breakpoint. In this breakpoint, our header is messed up, right? So the breakpoint we are having here is from is starting from 9. I think that is not really 907. That was in 1028. That's when we started having breakpoint. Now if you move on to that place, now you notice that when you go to 8879, we have another breakpoint. Now we move on, and you notice it, right? When you go to 675, we have another breakpoint. Then we move on again. When you get to a certain size of the screen, you have another breakpoint. So we need to take cognizance of these various breakpoints. So both breakpoints are trying to tell us that, okay, when you get to this particular page, with this particular screen, you need to do a different design for this screen. When you move to a particular screen, you need to do a different design for this screen. So that's what we call what a breaking point. When you get to that page, or when you get to that screen size, our design will be mixed up. So the ability for you to be able to recognize different breaking points of your project, then we look at that breaking point, you now decide how you are going to structure your mobile responsiveness. So I think enough of the talking. We need to dive in writing our code. So let's quickly move on. All right. So what we are going to do here, move down to the last bottom of our application. I hope I'm recording. Okay. To move back to the last bottom of our application, then here we are going to be having. Then for you to be able to start writing media query, all you need to do is to use art. So immediately you type art, immediately you type art, you will see media screen here, right? In this media screen, you have the media screen. Then in this media screen, what we're going to do is to write and. So this and, right? Now, the work of this and is actual operation used to join multiple media features, right? So screen and, then we have and here. Now this and we are going to, next thing we are going to do is to use what we call, we open bracket here and close. So inside here, like I told you earlier, we're having minimum and a what and a maximum, right? You can either have minimum and a maximum. There are two of writing a media query, which I'm going to show you the two of doing that. So now this minimum, let's say maximum width, maximum width, and this maximum width, now it actually tell the computer to target, um, it tell the computer to target a device with a width of, can be 200, can be 300, can be 400, right? So the maximum weight is telling the device to target a device from a width of, let's say, 600 pixel. So when it gets to, when you get to a device that is from 600 pixel below, then where whatever you're writing become an effective. Now let me show you. Let's come down here. So when you scroll down like this and come down, you notice that we started having issue, right? A breaking point that is from 127, right? So what we need to do here is that we tell our device to target. I'm going to copy this. We tell our device to target any width from 127 and below, right? Maximum means it start from the maximum to the minimum. One minimum start from the minimum to what? To the maximum. So let's move ahead. Yeah, I'll tell the device, okay, then we'll have this. So what this thing means is that we are telling the device, right? Now we are telling the computer to target device with a screen width of 1,227. Now when it gets to that 1,227, what should happen, right? So this place is telling us what should happen. Then here, of course, we are working with diff, right? In HTML, we have different diff in different purposes and whatever we use with diff. Let me come to the header, for instance. So in this header here, I have a container. Though this container is the parent of all the header. So now I can say, okay, when it gets to this stage, right? When it gets to this device, this is what will happen. Before I do that, I would like to put this into normal device. So what I need to do is to dot call that container. Make sure that this particular CSS open and close should be there. So what I need to do, I call here, what I need to do, I come here and call the container. Of course, you know how you usually write our CSS, right? So now when it gets to this size, what should happen? I can say, okay, background. Give me a background of, like, give me this background, for example. Then, right, this. So what we're going to do here, when you come here, we'll try to move, 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 and we get to this page. You notice that the background changed from blue to another background. So let me just change this to red so that we can get the clearer picture of what I'm trying to explain. So what we need to do is that, okay, when you come down here and move, when you get to this 27, 1027, then we have a different word, a different color. So this is how you can be able to write or adjust whatever issue you are having, right? So from that color, move down, you are still going to be having another color. So we can say, okay, from this color, go down, maybe let's say, um, from this color to this color, okay, let's start from 1027. We are going to check a breaking point. This is the first breaking point, and this is the second breaking point. So let's started from 107, 109, 909, right? 909. So we are going to also create another design from that. Then here, right? So what I'm going to do here is that, I'm going to also be showing you a different way of doing that. So now let's see how we can use a multiple. Let's say I can use a multiple. Um, let's say I can use a multiple media query, right? A multiple media query. So now multiple media query, we can say, okay, we decided to target multiple weights, right, of our application. Now we said, okay, when we get to this maximum, this is what should happen, right? We can tell, okay, when you get to 900 to 500, this is what how we want our browser to behave. When you get to 600 to 700, this is how we want our browser what to behave. So let's have what we call a multiple media query. So what I need to do here is media. Then yeah, I'm not going to having this screen again. So what I need to do here is to call, yeah. So I can say from minimum, oh, I'm not okay. For minimum weight, so let me go and check where I would like to. So, okay, from the minimum. So let me start from the minimum. Uh, okay, let me start from the minimum. So minimum should like, let me give 600, right? From 600, minimum of 600. Sorry, huh? Sorry, you said having, we'll say, okay, for minimum of 600 pixel, right? For minimum of 600 pixel to what? For minimum of 600 pixel hmm, and to max width of, let me give you the max width. We have a breaking point earlier, right? So let's start from here. Our breaking point is from 07, 909 or 907. Let's copy that to a max of this. MPX, right? So this is how you can use multiple. So what we are doing here, we are telling the device from minimum of this to maximum of this, what should happen, right? Then how are we going to tell you what should happen? So let's think of what's going to happen. Let's call the container dot container. We're giving you the background of what background of we giving it? Is it purple, right? Okay. Let's see what's going to happen. Now you notice that immediately we get to this stage. Now see what's going to happen. When we move here, what color are you seeing? Okay, let's start from here. When we move here, what color are you seeing? Excel, Presido, you can help us, please. What color are you seeing? Eh? Black blue or blue? Which of them? Okay. Then we'll move on now. Note that we said from maximum of 900. So move on. Now when we get to 1000 something, it changes to red, right? Now this is where we write the code. When they get to this, it changes to this, right? So we can write any kind of thing we want here, right? We can change the color, change whatever we want to change, make the mobile more responsive, right? This is all about multiple device. So we have done the single media query, then we are doing the multiple media query that will start from the lower number to a higher gravitational force. Ha, super. Bravo, come on, my nigga. All right. So now we move on down, 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 down. So when it gets to this, the maximum. So remember, it started from what? The maximum of what? 909. So if you don't trust my judgment, let me do this. 909, enter. We still have what? But you put 9 you can see it changed to what? To red. So immediately you get to that 909, right? 909, you moving. When it gets to 505, you now move back. So the reason why you move back to red because we use from maximum to the below. So maximum will start from a certain breaking point to the last, right? So why minimum maximum will start from a maximum to the minimum of that browser, um of that screen device. So this is how you can be able to have multiple screen device. Please, I want you to understand this because this is very important to understand. As the stage we are going now, it's what we are going to be doing entirely. If there any area you don't understand, please call my attention. I can do a recap or you can go through the video again. So we can say, okay, for the list of our device, which is the most smallest device, I'm not sure that device that have 336 pixel. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you are using that. That means yeah, yeah, okay. Let's say let's take it out from actually from 444. At least the smallest device from 600. President, I don't know if I'm wrong. Smallest device from 600 pixel. So let me start with that. So I was okay from this. Let me just make it random. 400. Then from that 400, then we see what we have here. So now what we are going to be doing now is that okay, we are going to be building two. One is for tablets, which is from 1000 to 900, eh? Or even for 1000 to 900, right? Is for tablets, right? Why from that 900 to the last one is for mobile. Is that well understood? So let me give a comment here. This is um here is for mobile phone design. So here is for tablet. Design. So, any question regarding this we just did now? I say this can help us to scale through. Any question? Okay. We don't necessarily need to work on all this, right? So, what we are going to do here is to work on this, right? We start from the breaking point. Now, how are we going to work on this, and what is the problem here? The problem here is that this way to this place is not accommodating all this. So we have a smaller way, and you notice that this man also moved to the next line. So we're going to see how to fix this. You can either we the margin here, the margin here is too much, or we can work on the margin. But before you do that, come to your the CSS, the one you have the desktop design. So come back here, which is the container. Let's check the container. From the container and see. So the container here, they move on to this container, right? This list. So this ULLI is referring to this man, right? This man here. So move on to that man. We have padding to 8. Then move on down again. So we don't really have much padding there. So what we need to do here is that come down to, so we are going to call, we're removing this entirely. So we are going to call, because what we needed to work is to reduce these spaces here, right? This spaces here. So we are going to call on ul nav ul li. I hope that's what we have on the main desktop. Let's go down to the desktop. ul nav ul li. You can quickly just copy this. Instead of you typing all of them, come to this the second design, which is this design, right? So moving here. So here I'm going to say padding. So the padding top is 0. So what we use was padding left and right to 4 pixels. So let's quickly see what's going to happen. So notice that, or let's give it 0 and see what's going to happen to 0. Check. Oga, stop to dey share your black face. You wan charm me? You wan charm me? Okay. I think the margin, the padding is not really working here. So what we need to do is that let's go back there. We need to identify that padding, where that padding is coming from. We need to identify that padding. So we need to identify where the padding is coming from. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. I think that padding is coming from. We need to add the A. So we forget to add A, which is the anchor. So moving up, moving up, moving up. Add the anchor. So let's check that out. So now you notice that there is no margin again. So let's work on the margin. This man have come to the same line. We also need to work on this. This thing is too big. Work on the margin as well. So what we need to do here is, let me give 3. Okay, 3 is okay. And then we also need to reduce this man as well. We need to reduce this man. They are too big. So we need to go down, go straight to where we have them. If you don't know the class, come here and check the button. So this is the class we are having. So we have the class, we have BTN, we have BTN login and BTN sign up. So let's go and check them out. Can quickly search Ctrl F BTN. Then the BTN port, BTN. We have the BTN, the padding is much. So I'm going to copy this and I'm come to down, down. I'm going down. I will not go down. Where they go church. Okay, press this. So here we are removing all this. Then padding up to 0 pixel, padding left and right to 5 pixel instead of 8, right? So let's get it out. You can see we have this here. This space here, we need to look at what we are going to work on it. So let's increase that space to um 8, um this to 4, um so 5. Okay. Then this space is here. Um Looking at working on this space. So this space should be this login. Let's try to do something. So we'll call the login to margin. That should be margin right. Abi margin left. So the margin left we have like 500 pixel. I want us to check something if it's working. So the margin left is working, right? So but for us to move this man to the left, we need to use minus, right? Let's say 50 minus. So what we can do here is to move this man to this side. So we notice that maybe we use minus, it goes to this side. Now if we remove this minus, maybe move this can to 0, so let's see what's going to happen. You can see we have spaces here, right? You can see we have more spaces here. So what we need to do, we can use 50 or 40 or 30 or 20, 30, then use minus, right? So you can see what we have here. Now let's move on. Let's move on. Then that another breaking point, right? You get to another breaking point. So get to this point, then when you get to this another breaking point, this is what we have. So you can see another breaking point, everything scattered. So and now when you get there, now we get to this breaking point, then this breaking point, right? Um, so we get to this breaking point, right? So you get to this breaking point. So everything starts scattering. So we need to work on this. That we need to work on this. Now we already have our media query. Um, we already have our media queries well structured. So the next one we are going to focus majorly is on this, right? On this one, which is the main work where we are going to be starting building our project. So what I want to do here is that when it gets to this place, when it gets to this place, I want the head to hide, the header, like this entire header to hide, right? I want the entire header to hide. I don't want to see this header again when you get to this page. I don't want to see this header again. So when you get to this stage, I don't want to see this header again. I want the header to hide so that I can be able to build my mobile responsiveness. So now let's focus on the mobile responsiveness, right? So that's the area we're going to be focusing on now. So let me move it to the mobile responsive. So I move this man to this place. So this is where I want to start building my mobile responsiveness. So we're going to work on all this. So the first thing we're going to do here is to I also like to put this thing so that whenever whatever we are doing, we'll be seeing it. So yeah, we'll come to this, right? What we need to do now is to work on the mobile, the header first. So when we are done working on the header, we can move to other things. Now, what we need to do here is that when it comes to the container, this container, let me show you. Moving down ahead, going down ahead, moving down ahead. So when it comes to this container, here we have display to flex. And I told you flex have what we call column and row, right? Column and row, which is first flex direction. And the most of you will remember when we are talking about flex direction. If I have flex direction here, right, and use column, let's see what's going to happen here. You notice that the decision automatically change to column. Now when you bring it to mob to the normal system, it changes everything, right? But we don't want that to be effective on the desktop. We want that to only to be effective on the mobile. Because when you put that when you put that to the desk to the mobile screen size, it give all this responsiveness, right? We're able to have some, at least we're able to have some responsiveness. So what I need to do is to just comment on this. Then we still have it. So we come to the desktop, we still have whatever we have here. Then move on to the mobile. So major thing we are focusing on now is the mobile aspect of it. So then move on to the down. Okay, now, so I'm going to remove this background. I'll leave it to blue. So yeah, I'm going to use flex direction column, right? All right. Now I have column here. Then means I have column. But what I really want to do is that when it comes to the design we're working on, so what I want to do is that when they come here and click on this, we have a drop down, right? A drop down will appear. When we click on it, it will close. So when you get to the mobile, we need a drop down like this that will appear. When they click on it, what it will close. So this is what we intend doing. Now, how can we achieve this? We can only achieve this by this is already an inline. Most of you know that inline elements are elements that will be in the same line, right? It's an inline element. So we need to display this to a block element. What I mean by block element, so that you can be able to have what? Gaps. You can be able to have gaps. So let me show you what block inline element does. Now when you move on to ULLI, let me show you. We did that in ULLI where we were able to display that to okay, moving, scroll down. Now, when you come here, see what we did here. So, nav ULLI. So, nav ULLI means that we are talking to this particular man, this nav UL and LI. So, we say, okay, display to inline. If I comment on this, right, come here, this is what we want to have, right? This is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to achieve here. But if we put that in desktop, look at what we have. So we don't need to put that in desktop. You need to we need to remove that inline from the desktop and display it to a block element. So if you don't have inline, you have block, right? So what we need to do now is to display this to block. I hope you are communicating. So let's remove that. Let us comment that so that we can still have our design. So what I need to do, just copy this and scroll down, enter. Then paste this here. Then this display we are removing it. So display, if it's not inline, it's going to be a block. So look at what we have here. Now when it comes to the mobile, to the desktop, we still have our what? inline element. So when we move on to the mobile, we still have what this issue. Now we are having a problem. Can someone tell us the problem we are having here? Please indicate if you notice the problem here. Maybe we display this to a block element, we notice a problem. If you notice a problem, indicate so that you can tell us the problem and let's see how you can be able to fix that problem. Thank you. Constable, I'm waiting. Okay, sorry. How are we going to bring this logo back? You remember earlier we learned about positioning element, right? So we have absolute, right? Absolute positioning and the fixed positioning, relative positioning. That's why you go to watch video. So we are going to employ positioning to be able to position this logo to anywhere we want. Are we communicating? So to position this logo to anywhere we want. So what you need to do is that to bring this logo back, we go to our HTML. Let's look at the class we are using for our logo. So we are having the logo and img, right? The logo, which is the class, then the img, which is the div name. So here we are going to have my logo design, the logo design here. So what I need to do, I come down. Remember, we have this logo, right? So it's a class. I'm going to bring that dot then class. Then I want to call the image. So I'll call the img, right? Call the word. The word img. So what I need to do is positioning to absolute, right? Now that absolute, I want to give the top to 0. And let's see what's going to happen. You can see the image is back. The top to what? To 0. Now, if I decide, okay, I want to give the top to 80%, you notice that our image is down. But we don't want this image to pass this blue page header here. We don't want this image. We want the image to be relative to this blue header. Who can suggest what we should do? Like the image should not go beyond this background, blue background. It should stick between that background. I want a very clever student to tell us what we should do in order to get this image to stick by, even though we add the top to 80%. I mute my mic. God bless you. So what you need to do, come here, position, relative. So when you come here, you notice that this man is up there. So can now put this to 0. So what we intend doing now, right? What we intend doing now is I want to move. I want to move it to the top to 0. So I also want to bring this man down, right? So what I want to do now is that yeah, I'm okay the way it is, right? I'm okay the way it is, but I will still need to bring it down to this particular page, right? To this particular page. So what I need to do here is very simple. I want to work on this nav where we have this nav, right? So where we have the UI. Move on. Come to this place. Here I have a UI. So UL. I need the background of blue, right? And this one, this other blue container background, I want to change that container background um to this the container. I want to change the background to the same background with the color. So this is what we have here. Now what I need to do is to give this man the width of, let's say, 100%. Then to bring this man down, right, to be able to move this nav to anywhere I want, I need to give a position to absolute. Position to what? Absolute. Then top to 0. You can see where we have it, right? So now, but I not want to give it up to 0. I want to bring it down so that our image will have what? Leverage to do whatever they want to do. So what I need to do is very simple. I can give this top to 10%. Okay, let me move it to 20%. 50. Are we 50%? Then move it again. 60. Ah, is it even moving at all? 70. So I'm in the class. Yeah, let me call you back. Yeah, when I'm done. Hmm? Yeah, what I say? Let me call you back on the class. Thank you. All right. So sorry, just hold on. All right, all right, all right, all right. Really? God, this was why you opening. Are you normal? Come on, close. Look at this. Look at this. God, want to expose me. Want to expose my bad thing that I'm doing on WhatsApp. Okay. Come on, please, let me move on. So then let me. I also want to give this man a weight, right? A height. So 70%. Let's just have the 80%. Okay, the 80% is fine. So let me give you the height. A height. I think this long height. I need to close this man. This CSS. Yeah, close it. Height of 50 VH, not VP, VH, please. Okay. So this 50 VH. Then I also need to move this man to. I need to move this man to right, right. So let's say right. The right is 0, so I need to add some things on the right. Let's have the right to 30%. No, no, it's too. We need to bring it a little bit, like 20 of like. They give it like 8 and see. Um, so the width is much, right? Move to 80%. Okay, that's okay. Then okay, the width is okay. So I need to work on this element here. So if I move this text to center, come on, and leave me now. I'm in a class here. Let me call you back here. Thank you. I'm in a class here. Just drop message. Okay, move it to center. So I need to have space here, right? To have space here, we need padding. So let's try to add padding here. Padding, actually padding top, right? Padding top to 20 pixel. Um, the padding top 20 pixel is much. So let's use padding top, then left and right to 0, left and right to 0 pixel. So we need to reduce the padding top like 15 pixel. Um, say 10 pixel. Is the temp is okay? Is this center okay, or should move this man? Is the temp is okay? Huh? Children of God. Children of God. Hi. God Shepherds. Okay. 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 Is much? So moving this thing to right or center, which of them is better? right or left, like this man, right or left or center, which of them is better?
I think center is better. Left.
Let move the center and see. I'm thinking to move it to
Left is good.
left is good.
Left is better. Yeah.
Or we can decide to use what we call justify. We're trying to get something here. Justify. Let that you justify here. Text align justify so that we can have this. Justify is let me try to do something. If it work, I'm trying to make sure that we have justification on this. So removing this. So let me bring in A here on this justify and see. Okay, it didn't work. Let me remove that. So let's move that to left. I mean, I think left is preferable. So I'm going to use left. So what I intend to do now is to move this thing, right? I want to move this entire content using padding, right? To just move it a little bit. We can try to add this button here. What do they call it? Whatever. Kiniko. Let me just see. I want to just move this text, like all the text here. So I think we'll call let me call this um uh move this. Let's try margin left to like 30 pixel if it work. Okay, it's working. So we can use margin left 40 pixel. So you can see that we are moving that. This is okay, Abi. I don't know, is this okay? Hmm? Children of God. I know they talk again. Is this okay?
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So I also want to do something here. Border radius like 20 pixel. Alright. I think we are done with this. So what we also need to do, let's work on this logo and this other man, right? Let's work on this logo and this other man.
The login, sir.
Yeah, the login and the this we are working on them as well. So um the next thing we're going to do here is we'll bring this man to center here. So let's go to so what are we going to do here? Can somebody suggest what we should do? You have to bring this man to center. Um, Somebody suggest.
Justify contents. Enter or something. Text align.
No, that won't work. Remember, they have this man as position absolute. So when the position absolute, you have left, you have right, you have center, you have top. Sorry, bottom, top, left, and right. At the top is zero. Huh? So what we need to do here is we need to add right.
Right.
So let me close this right. So 30%, 40, 45, 50. That is okay. Then we need to the top. We need to give it like 2 pixel. Give like 10 pixel. Okay. All right. So I think we should move this a little bit. 546. Okay. Then here also we should be have more spaces here because we need to increase this man and give it like padding top. So let's move on. Come to the login. So login, I think we did some. We called that the time we use login. Okay, we use it on the tablet, right? Huh? Let me check the tablet. Okay, we use the login here. So I'm calling this login. I don't want to give it margin top. So now we have here is our login design design. All right, fantastic. What we need to do is that we press this here. So while removing this margin left or whatever, can you call it, the margin top, then 30 pixel, let's check. So that this man is a bit down. So let's also give him margin bottom, or can give it top and bottom. So left and right is zero, right? Zero. The top and bottom is this. Let's give it like 40. So now I want to know that what we are doing here is that this login, look at where you are getting it from. This logo, right? Sorry. So we have a login. We did a login. Okay, this is the login div, right? So it's a div, right? Inside you also have other things as well. So um um what design should we suggest? Should we increase this or we should leave it like this? That's fine. Or just increase it, work on it. Is that okay? Bring idea. Concept, Presido.
Hmm?
Is that fine?
Try, try, K.
I should do
Sorry,
what?
can you unmute yourself? Somebody wants to suggest something.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you clear, loud and clear.
Okay. Uh, I would suggest we move the login and the get started uh, to the move it to the right, then drop down the logo to the left hand side so that they can align. That is what I want to suggest. Thank you.
Mm, that will not be. Okay, move this. That is a nice
Yes,
design.
move the login in and get started. Move it to the extreme end of the right. We'll have enough space on the left to adjust
Okay.
the logo.
Okay. So what I need to do is go back there. This login. So how can we do that? Bring idea. How can we move that? Suggest, please. Huh? Any idea? Any?
For the logo, I know we'll position, we'll keep positioning till we get the
What
perfect
of the
uh,
login?
for the login. We'll have to visit the div to see what we did there.
That is the div. This is the
Um,
div here. We have this div that has this man, that has these two login. So which is the login class, and this is the login class here. So what is we should do? It's very simple now. Positioning now. We use
so we need to,
positioning.
yeah,
Ah,
positioning, yeah,
no,
we'll
no, they forget to.
position right.
You don't need position right. But where is positioning right? Absolute. Then we can be able to move it anywhere we want. So where do you want us to move it?
We'll move right.
Right. So yeah, I can say right to zero. Right to zero, so that we'll know what to add. So you want us to bring it back a little, right?
Yes.
Let have 10%. 10% okay? Or to move it again.
That's perfect. If
So this one now,
yeah, I think this
where are we
is
getting this one? Huh?
we are moving left. Let's
Left.
try left 10% to
Okay. Go to the logo. So We have the need to underline this. The net called the left. I mean left to zero. So okay, this as so now we should move this a little bit down, right? Or should tell her what to do.
Yes, a
It's
little
your
bit down.
design. It's your design. Just tell her what you want us to do.
Okay, we need to drop them a little bit down, both the logo and the login. But I think the positioning now is fine, just to
Okay.
align them.
The logo will have 30 pixel without work. Then we need to 10% from the right,
That
10 pixel
is
from the
fine.
right, from the left. Is that okay?
It looks fine by me, sir. This is much better.
Yeah. So who can take? Please, we need I need. Is it fine?
Move it to the right a little bit.
Okay, to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
That is giving like 30, 40 pixel.
20.
Is that okay?
No, more. The logo is okay, but I think the login and get started going out of this thing a little.
So what do you think we should do? Look at this and think if it's good because it's your design.
It's okay. Okay. This is logo. Can you give it 95?
95.
No.
And do you know why? Do you know why these things?
Would you
Do you know why these things cannot move? Excuse me. Excuse me. Do you know why this thing can? Okay, let move. We need to move that login back because we need provision where we can put a button that when we click on this, it will appear. We are going to hide this from here.
of that
Yes, we are going
no,
to
but
have this
we
from
can
there.
do
So,
9%.
huh?
So we can do 9% and see 20.
Hmm. For me, it's not fine. Look like little dot things.
And then take the little one to the left a little bit.
The logo, right?
Just that one, a bit far away from the body.
Let's have it to 50 pixel.
No.
Hmm?
Okay. For 55.
I should do what? Press do.
Make it 55, let's see.
55 by from the left.
Okay. And then can we move the login to the right just a little bit? Like that.
If we move it to the right, there will not be space where we will add our bar because we are going to have a button here. So when they click on it, this will appear because this will disappear.
Then it's fine this way.
Okay.
Okay, it's your design. You can pick.
So okay, if you think it's fine this way,
Okay.
it's your design. It's not my design.
Yeah, for me, it's fine. Yes, it's fine. It's fine like this. Everything is aligned in my eyes, my own small design in
Okay.
my eyes. Okay. I think someone else has a suggestion.
Okay.
Terrence.
Who else?
Sorry. Terrence, can you unmute yourself and speak, please? Okay. I think he's sleeping. Lotus Halley, if you're here, can you speak?
Yeah, okay. Mr. Skyline,
Hmm?
I had this issue with the drop down. The container, the
Chief
size of the
Skyline.
container,
Chief Skyline.
Thank you for correcting him. Hmm. Fire down.
the size of the size of the container, where you have WordPress website, are we still having additional drop down when you click on WordPress? Because the size of the container, I think, is too big, even when you decide to add the bar.
It's my design. You can do your own like that. I don't because if I follow you people design, people will spoil my work for me. Because even this one, as I'm looking at this design self, do me so high in my eye. I will change the design self. Why this here? Fire down.
it your own way, we can do our own.
Like you do your own, no.
Then we
Because the
learn
way
from
I'm
your
seeing it
own.
now, it's just like I don't like it. Don't like this thing. Don't like it. You when you
Do
people
it
will
your
do
own
your
way.
own,
We are learning from you.
do your own. Let me do my own. So you can do your own that way. I think this is I'm not giving this.
Anybody?
So what I need to give this man here is margin. Not ask you to come and change my design. Just ask you suggestion. You now come and change my design. Now my
Anybody
design
would
look
like to can
ugly.
go to court.
Margin top, margin top. I need to take this man up again. Top to the top was like 10 pixel, right? This margin top is okay. Then uh, left and right is zero. I'm good with this. If you don't like it, go and do your own. When you are doing your own, move it. Just use positioning and move it to anywhere you want to move it to. Okay. All right. So I just need to give space here. Just spacing between these texts. Give space. So what I need to do is that let me go to my desktop where I was able to padding this BTN. Okay. So the BTN should be this. Okay. So I'll copy this. Then so the BTN is having this and this. Right. So I just need to just scroll down a little bit. Um so my button here. So mm, so something like that is it going to work? Let's see. Okay, sorry. This um okay. Let me give top to X and see what's going to happen. Left and right to like 10, like 15. Okay, 15.